Cassidy. With his suave demeanor and a voice that could make the angels jealous, Jack was a force to be reckoned with in the entertainment world. But behind the scenes, there was a battle playing out, one that involved more than just hitting the high notes. The tale starts like many in Hollywood, with the bright lights, the applause, and the after parties. Jack, in his pursuit of the high life, found himself dancing with the demon known as alcohol. What might have started as a casual social lubricant soon became a relentless companion in the wee hours. You see, Jack Cassidy wasn't just wrestling with the stage. He was in a constant tug-of-war with the bottle. It became a routine, a daily encore that played out behind closed doors. The man who could command a room with his presence found himself captive to a vice that doesn't discriminate. As the glasses clinked and the nights turned into blurry memories, the toll began to show. Jack's once soaring career hit turbulence. The roles that once came knocking seemed to fade away, drowned out by the echoes of a man grappling with more than just his lines. Lucille Ball, Lucy, with that signature red hair and a knack for making us laugh till our sides hurt, started out on a journey that led her straight into the spotlight. Life, however, had a way of throwing unexpected curveballs. Enter Daisy Arnaz, the Cuban bandleader who not only swept her off her feet but also became her on-screen and off-screen partner in crime. The love story of Lucy and Daisy played out in front of the world, complete with the highs of success and the lows of a tumultuous marriage. The laughter from the I Love Lucy set echoed through the years, but so did the strains of a relationship under the spotlight. Amid the laughter, there was also a quieter soundtrack, the clink of glasses in the solitude of the night. Lucy, in her pursuit of joy, found solace in the embrace of alcohol. It wasn't the bubbly and the grape, but the hard stuff that became her companion. Lucille would drink so much that she couldn't do without booze. She would have alcohol inside her slushy, and even when she had high blood pressure as a result of her drinking, she didn't stop. Her career and personal life was not spared as a result, even up until her demise. Andre the Giant. Several decades before the world got to know his name, Andre the Giant was just a young boy born to Russian immigrants in the 1940s. If you're wondering why he looked like a giant, it's because he was born with a disease called acromegaly. This seemingly harmless disease made his body to produce way more growth hormones than a regular human being, making him look bigger than his peers. This very condition would later become his greatest asset, but before then, he had to cope with the complexities of looking different and not quite fitting in his early years. However, as he grew older, his size became a blessing and venturing into wrestling seemed like the best career path for him. With each year that passed by, Andre proved that he was a legend, and from the 1960s to the 1980s, he became a household name. Fans clamored to watch him wrestle and promoters fought to book him. The cash was flowing in endlessly and it was clear that he loved wrestling. But while he was living what seemed to be his dream life, Andre was drowning in an addiction. See, Andre loved booze a lot, perhaps even more than he loved wrestling. He was said to have consumed over 7,000 calories worth of alcohol every single day. He drank a lot before his fights to warm up and drank a lot after his fights to celebrate his wins. He reportedly drank a case of beer, accompanied with several bottles of vodka every 60 to 90 minutes. He drank so much that he was called the world's greatest drunk. Sadly, after 4 decades of entertaining his fans and living above his disease, Andre passed on due to congestive heart failure in 1993. Rita Hayworth. Rita wasn't always tangled up in the world of booze, but somewhere along the path of stardom, she stumbled into the arms of alcohol. It wasn't just about the parties and the glitz. She started using the bottle like a compass, trying to find herself in the sea of studio lights. Marriage became another chapter in Rita's story as she got married 5 times. 5 trips down the aisle, each one marked by a toast, a promise, and a little too much of whatever was in her glass. The thing is, Rita wasn't toasting to everlasting love. No, she was on a quest for something deeper, trying to drown out the noise and find a sense of herself in the haze of champagne bubbles. But as we know, the bottle never hands out real answers. As the marriages piled up, so did the empty glasses, and it became a painful pattern. Rita, this goddess of the silver screen, was grappling with the very real demons of self-discovery and a tumultuous personal life. Fast forward to the later years, and the shadows grew longer. The woman who once danced her way into our hearts was facing a cruel twist of fate. Alzheimer's disease came knocking at 62, and the pain her family and friends felt knew no bounds, especially because they knew the disease came from the bottom of a bottle. Gig Young. Have you ever heard of anyone so disturbed? It leaves you both shocked and concerned. Well, if you have, there's probably no chance that they were as disturbed as Gig Young. His career started in the 30s and his amazing skills in the screen saw him in several films, including appearing in an episode of The Twilight Zone and also a daily guest on The Tonight Show. But Gig had a darkness that he tried to hide from the rest of the world, but sadly, the darkness was too much to suppress. He was married 5 different times to 5 different women, most of which divorced him due to his raging alcoholism and mental health problems. Despite all these, he would drink several bottles a day and couldn't stay off booze. But one day, his 5th wife, almost half his age, met her end in his hands when he came home drunk one night, pulled out his gun and shot her in cold blood. Then he placed the gun in his own mouth and pulled the trigger. His drunkenness made him mad with depression and ended what would have been an otherwise bright career.